my stream. All right, I got water. Okay. All right, dropping my link into the chat. There we go. We're missing our little slight latecomers. Okay. Okay, I think we should be okay, weirdly. I wanted to look at just a couple more things. Let me see. All right. Okay, let's do this. How's everybody doing? You know today's the last day of March? Do you get that? You know what that means tomorrow is? April and
Rent.
rent. Oh, crap. I actually forgot about that. It's true. Good point. I have to also make some payments. Yeah, actually, no, I'm dead serious. I totally spaced it. I'm making a note to myself. No, you think I'm kidding? You think I'm joking? No, I'm not joking. I literally forgot. I even know why I forgot, but making a note right there. Okay. So, hey, thanks. Whoever said rent. Who said rent?
I
The
did.
Sam?
Sam.
Sam gets the gratitude trophy so far for the chat. Um, all right, here's what we're going to do today. We're going to do We're going to fantasize about a world in which I back up and finish all the grading that's on my plate. That's starter. And no, the truth is, I've been really limited by how long I can literally just sit in a bloody chair. And as that's just been getting better and better, it's like my productivity's been elongating every day, um, based upon my ability to just sit in a chair without discomfort. Weird, but true reality. So I'm coming. I'm coming. We'll get there. Oh, and yeah, and midterms. Yep. So what I want to do today, first of all, I want to just draw attention. I'm trying to drop a few, I don't know, just Easter memes since we're coming around on Easter. Um, I like the chocolate bunny of death. It's very evil and is weirdly satisfying. And then that one at the bottom, which I stumbled across somehow, somewhere, that just does seem really scary, right? I mean, I get the idea. It's kind of like remember if any of you had like little siblings or nieces, nephews that had like the Johnny jump up, right? Where you put the kid in and their feet barely touch. And when they spring, it kind of springs them up so they can get a little bit of control and autonomy, right? But this is like cradle factor. And you got a kid there, you could just basically go trebuchet, spring load that bad boy. Can you imagine leaving leaving the older siblings to babysit what they're gonna do, let alone the dad. Anyway, it just made me happy from a design perspective. Like, well, I don't know. It depends on how springy that actually gets when you cock it all the way down, right? I don't know. So, what I wanted to do, so we got to hit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about CRC cards, which is a sort of it's an ancient design methodology. Tomorrow is don't trust your friends day. Yeah, I don't like April Fool. I don't like April 1st. I mean, I like April 1st. Actually, I love April 1st because it means it's April and the school year, not just the spring semester, but the whole, begin to end school year quest, because I don't teach in the summer. It's coming to a close. I like that, but I don't know. I don't like April Fools. I don't like any system in which just bald-faced lying to somebody is funny. I don't. Your mileage may vary, but you know what I mean? Hey,
That's
Chuck, I found $100 on the driveway. It's yours, I think. Serious? No. You know what I mean? I don't think that's funny. I don't find it funny. You know what I mean?
that that's fair, but lying to little kids can be very fun.
No, no, Sam. Sam, no. No, I don't. I know I'm going to disagree. I'm just going to. We get to agree to disagree. Okay.
Okay.
But oh man, not just to me. That's almost the worst because then what are you teaching little children to be just cynical about the world? I mean, maybe they got to figure that out sooner or later. So you know,
Santa
No,
hits them sooner or later, so
they're going to
we
get
already
hit
we
with.
already lie to kids.
I know. I just have a problem even with that a little bit. You know what I mean? Because they're so innocent and they're so gullible, and I understand that's part of what makes it fun. But I just, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, lying is like the bottom of the totem pole for pranks, right? If that's
Oh,
what you set your prank standard on, then of course you hate pranks because those are terrible pranks. Let's get some good pranks in here.
okay. Well, okay. So let's because we're this is about design, right? And let's talk about designing a good prank that will actually make you give you a real smile and not actually destroy your relationships, or make you feel like the other thing I hate is if you got the practical joke thing all the time, then it's like you're always just walking around, you can't just relax. Like it's like a bad blood pressure moment. You're just always wondering what's the next stupid thing. And to me,
Which is why April 1st is beautiful. You have a day designed for it, so you don't have to worry about it all year round.
that's true. That's true. But so I'd be curious about what is right. Pranks make people feel good, ultimately silly for a little bit, and then you laugh about, yeah, if you can pull that off. But I'd have to see what the design was on that. Okay. And in fact, if you have like examples of that sort of um, you know what I mean? That sort of a thing, then I'd really love to hear it. I don't think I'm humorless. I don't think any of you would accuse me of being humorless, right? I hope. We're just like, okay, I can see the SRIs right now. Thinks he's funny, but I'm a dad and a grandpa, so of course I think I'm funny. But nah, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like deception as a replacement for actual humor. So I want to see what the examples are of Braden's, that you feel good in the end and you get a good laugh out of it.
What about like I don't know if you've heard of this one, but you get a Boolean cube and stick it in the shower head so it sprays chicken Boolean at them when they hop in the shower at the first.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I haven't tested it. I don't know if it works, but I would like to
It's a
because
little
I'm
bit like the
curious about
ones
it.
you may have seen the prank videos where someone's like at a beach and they got the outdoor showers, right? And then someone's over the top, like dropping shampoo back on them. So every time they do the thing, it just keeps lathering up no matter what they do. And then you watch these like, jacked up steroid guys, starting to lose their shiz. I don't know if that's funny. I don't know.
I don't know. So I would like to say, for the record, that I usually tell the children that I've deceived them shortly after, and that's not really how it is. But also, I feel like I don't really love pranks either, and I feel like because a lot of it is by nature sort of non-consensual. Like you didn't sign up
Right.
for that a lot of the time, and
Yeah.
now you're just being a jerk, kind of, and that's
And it's
funny.
like, oh, like, yeah, I lied to you and I made you have emotions that, how dare you trust me again? Ha ha. You know, I don't know. Whatever. Maybe I'm just a stick in the mud or something. I don't know what I am.
That'll teach you to trust me. Ha ha.
Yeah, ha ha. Exactly. How dare you believe me ever again? Ha ha. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, but if you guys have ideas about, you know, um, good design, well-designed pranks that have all the positive things that Braden was talking about. Build relationships, you know. Ultimately, it feels like that was really a cool bonding, whatever, as opposed to like you asshat, like why? No, was it really funny? I don't know. Or maybe just don't do it to humorless blokes like myself. That's another possibility, right? That maybe memo to yourself: don't play pranks on Dr. K. I don't know. Okay. Let me see. Braden says worst pranks, crime, go to jail. Weak pranks. Jimmy Kimmel, tell your kids you ate their Halloween candy. That to me, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, I think that's me.
I think it's mean. I mean, what the kid, oh, Santa said you were a bad boy, so he went and he burned down Disneyland, and we were all gonna go drink cyanide Kool-Aid later on. Like, that's not funny.
I think we need to add that to the rule list. If anyone ends up crying because of your prank, probably a bad prank.
Even as an intermediate step on their way to whatever the ultimate destiny is supposed to be. This is, by the way, on topic because it's about design. Good pranks set up expectations, subvert them, nobody gets hurt. Ish. Epic pranks, you do something that makes you look stupid, but it's a trick, and now the other person feels dumb. We're going to have to go down to details. Tobias, strawberry drink mix into the shower head and just wait. See, I don't know, man. I could never have Tobias as a roommate, I think, probably. Or whoever said bouillon cubes.
The, I think a decent prank could be like satirizing something, or like representing something that's actually a social ill, or I don't know. I feel like that.
Like satire sites, like The Onion. I mean, they do it every day.
Like there's real action versions of things like that. I'm having a hard time thinking of stuff off the top of my head. But
for Tobias's pranks, I think it works, particularly in like a socially acceptable place. Like if you're in a dorm, right?
Yeah.
I know at BYU for a fact, a ton of people do pranks there. And what happens is they kind of escalate as people show their willingness to partake in them.
Yeah.
So then I think it's okay. Like
if it's the whole spirit of the whole thing, right?
But
right.
once you start doing it to people who obviously don't want any part in it, or there's like a clear level where you just can't go beyond there.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's right. Yeah, the problem here's the problem. I'm going to get off this topic now because it is interesting and from a design perspective, right? Because again, it's a balancing of forces, right? Patterns are solutions to problems in a certain context where there are forces that have to be brought. Do you see how do you see the smooth segue right back to patterns? But no, patterns really are about, especially Alexander nails this in the famous timeless way of building, this sort of and in a pattern language, which are still sitting here since the first time I brought these up 2 months ago. Because that's the way my desk is right now. It's very bad. But it's a resolving of opposing forces. Like, well, people want, like, remember alcoves? They want to be together, but they also want to be apart. How do you, like, right? How do I resolve the forces? To me, a really good April Fool's prank is playful and is uplifting, but not humiliating, and doesn't involve straight out lying, and doesn't force the other person through some horrific negative moment. Like.
My wife is saying that you're looking for the phrase "confuse, don't abuse."
I like that. No, I wasn't looking for that phrase, but now that I've found it, courtesy of your wife, yeah, I like that. Confuse, don't abuse. Yeah. But even then, I don't know if confusing is actually really a great goal from a comedy and bonding perspective. Anyway, here's my problem with Tobias's idea about the strawberry drink is when you are a man like myself, A, white hair, B, pasty white skin, essentially. You know what I mean? I'm a very much a white man. I have stainable skin and hair. You know what I mean? It's like you rock some strawberry drink through this hair, beard. You know what I mean? I'm gonna walk out the other side looking like some weird distorted Braveheart, or something. Um, you know what I'm trying to say? I just think it would be really, really bad. And I'd be wearing that red. I don't know how, I don't even know, right? Anyway, enough about that. But anyway, we won't share it together tomorrow, but it is April. And that signals for us 4 more weeks. 4 more weeks. Now, so let me talk about CRC cards. It's a very short little set of slides, okay? But what I've done in the past, it's just much more difficult to do it remotely, and I've done it in classroom setting, and it works pretty good, worked pretty well. I have, for example, I'm just sliding back here. I have just a little container unit here with 3x5 cards, different colors, you know, different kind of colors. What else? The plain white kind, post-it notes. Basically 3x5, some 5x7s, some different formats, whatever. And what I've done before in the class, because basically the CRC card is essentially just think of a 3x5 card, okay? So I'm going to back this thing up, first of all, by saying, just check out this picture. I did not take this picture myself. I found this picture. I don't know. I have no firsthand knowledge of the company or what the product was or what they're doing. But I want you to just look at it for a second. You can see this okay, right? On the resolution through the video, I hope. And in fact, it's small enough print even for me on my big screen that I may have to lean off camera just to read it. But I've got personas that are in this circle right here. I've got stakeholders in this. There's this initial sort of center, and then there's a circle called stakeholders, another circle that seems to be labeled personas, and another circle that seems to be labeled ideas, right? And then a bunch of stuff way the heck out here, digital records, chronic disease coach, or I don't know what this is, a healthcare app, maybe. Yeah, that says healthcare up there, healthcare something, something community, all in one app, better triage. Yeah, definitely medical. Again, I suspect that I'm reading these a little easier than you are. Robotic nurse, Uber Health, Meals on Wheels. These are personas: Nicole, Marty, Andrew, Yvonne. Stakeholders like Barry, who's a family doctor, and et cetera, et cetera. Okay, what I want to just ask you, I'm just trying to give you at least a few hints to what the stuff is. But when you first see this, what's your reaction from a design perspective? They're clearly designing either an app or a system or a broad solution, right, to a certain thing. Just curious what your reactions are to this. So, Tobias, we're going to do this one, and then we're going to jump to sequence diagrams in terms of slides. And I don't know if this
They're
one's...
both. Sorry.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
They're both appears to be a flow, but a very undiscernible flow to it.
Yeah, it's hard to know whether this is about a flow of things or if it's simply ideas connected to other ideas, right? I do like how they're drawing these lines to group all of these post-it notes, see the little outline line? Then they arrow that up here and say that this is, looks like wearable monitor service and something. Over here, they seem, maybe they were just sort of right, I don't know what this is. It looks like there was some kind of maybe like a brainstorming session, where people began to like stick the post-it notes where they went, little clustering. Then when you're done, you see the fruits of an organic activity here, right? This is not like a finished product. It's also not UML, right? It doesn't it just kind of look like the fruits of an activity? Like they spent like half a day and this is now what's on that whiteboard. That's the way it strikes
Well,
me.
I think it better be very high level with this many scopes and this high of a view. You only need like what, 2 or 3 people in the whole company to ever see this. Everybody else better be zoomed in a lot more. Otherwise, they're getting nothing out of this.
Yeah. No, that's right. It's very much. I think it's very much big vision. Has to be, right? I think it has to be. This is not like a detailed diagram. This is not like the database schema for your little system. It's not. You know what I mean? This is not detailed design of a product or a software design. This is very much, a high level. In fact, it looks to me like the kind of thing that a startup might say, well, look, we're going to do healthcare stuff. What's our kind of core competence, right? What's our big strength? What do we bring into the market that's unusual, right? And then they start to just brainstorm, and pretty soon they're like, oh my gosh, if we did these 4 things, right, then it would have this effect, or we could, this is how we could go into the market. And a lot of times you drill down, but then you kind of cluster back up, right, to get to kind of a, you kind of, everybody gets their ideas, and eventually you're like, well, these kind of go together, put them together. Eventually you realize that whatever was down here, that all the little lines are all around, is pretty together. You know what I mean? It's pretty all about the one thing, and it pops over here and goes chronic disease coach, and it pops over there going better triage, you know? So anyway, it's obviously a higher vision thing. But is anybody bothered by the fact that this is not computer drawn? It's not, it's not UML. It's not, there's no syntax to anything, you know? We just put our ideas over here and then these cluster, and I draw a line around it, I arrow, and then I put a picture and some other words, and this embodies our brainstorming. Anybody bothered by that? I mean, I'm not.
I'm not bothered by it because I feel like that's the first step to your overall UML, right? This is the session where it's, hey, let's get all the ideas out because right now we have so many different people coming together.
Yep.
And then once we have this, we take a picture of it. Now we go make it professional. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I'm bothered by this format.
Yeah. I'm not either. Because this is really organic, right? Was there somebody else had a comment? Yeah, Sam.
I do. I was gonna say I think it's really great, but I do think it as a starting step that
That's right.
you should at some point use the more formalized syntax and make it more concrete and readable, because to the people who are in that room, this is probably, they know exactly what's being talked about. They see everything, and it's easier for them to pick up and remember.
Yep.
But for another person coming to look at this, it's kind of a monstrosity.
Oh yeah, exactly right. But you know what's kind of interesting though, Sam? I think that I agree with you with only the following thing tempered. I feel like I can look at this, and if I could actually read all the post-it notes, and if I knew what our company did and what our kind of core, you know what I mean, approximate punchline of our company was, I feel like I would actually learn a lot. Now what it wouldn't do is codify anything, solidify anything, concretize anything, right? It would still just embody the brainstorm. And what would typically happen is just what we have here. You step back, everybody pull their phones out, take a picture, because there's a lot of brainstorming that happens on a whiteboard, frankly, on napkins, on paper napkins. The best places for me to do that kind of brainstorming are places that have butcher block paper on the tables, Like, I think did Macaroni Grill close down in the river bottoms? Kind of over there by the river woods. There was a Macaroni Grill there. Who else has the paper on the tables? Because what always would happen is I'd always have pens in my man bag, right? And we'd start talking and we'd start pulling colored pens out and start drawing pictures on the, move our plates aside, you know, and start drawing pictures. And then before we're done, take a picture of the table with all the pictures that we've drawn on this butcher block paper. Who else has it? I'm drawing a blank on. Oh, Asahi. It's a sushi place in North Orem. I really recommend it. 1600 North. Maybe the best sushi in the valley. But anyway, they have butcher block paper. So once again, I've gone there when I've got a. Sam's going to second Asahi. Yeah, man. I'm always in for just the rolls. That's all I'm all about is just the sushi rolls. To me, they have the best Vegas roll in the valley that I've ever had. Poke Shack? Okay, what is that? Is that sushi? Poke Shack? What is it? Or is it Poke Shack? In any case, they have butcher block paper. And whenever I want to do brainstorming business meetings, I always try to go someplace where there's paper, butcher block paper on the table. So it's just a natural flow to draw pictures, like having a whiteboard. And then you trust that there's not like heavy corporate espionage. Right? Like they're gonna come and tear it out and pick a picture of it and mail it to your competitors or whatever. There is a risk if you're literally dropping corporate espionage, on the butcher. What I mean by that is stuff that's really valuable, trade secrets or confidential information or whatever, and you're dropping it down there, right? You got some company that's going to compete with somebody, how we're going to destroy company X, and it's right there on the butcher block, and there's the master plan. Yeah, so the whole point just being, and I've said this before, UML, there's nothing sacred about it. It's a time and a place. What's your tool? The tool needs to adapt to whatever the moment that you're in the middle of. That's the thing that's important. So I just really like this picture. This picture from a sort of the quality without a name, right? The Alexandrian quality without a name. This picture to me has that quality that when I look at it, I don't feel repulsed by it. Now that your mileage might vary. My mileage is I look at it and I feel like I immediately begin to understand what it means, you know? It kind of reveals itself to me. It kind of witnesses to me of its function. Just by sort of like looking at it and reading, it's like, oh, okay. I think that's a great design. And this is like a meta level design, right? What's the design of the system that allows you to brainstorm and basically design? Because this appears to be designing components of the company or how it all fits together. Not sure. Anyway, I wanted to share that. And the reason that that's important is because this actually is a way of kind of hearkening back to the fact that back in the day, you didn't have UML, you didn't even have computers really, or you didn't have computers that were tools. Computers were your targets for software, maybe. You know what I mean? But you didn't have great tools on the computers to do design. This was it right there. 3x5 cards. So here is the thing. And literally, there is almost nothing here in this slide set. Okay? Laid back Poke Shack. Okay, I'm going to check it out, Braden. This is all the CRC cards are. You take a 3x5 card, and I've done this exercise in class when we're all physically together and group into small groups so you can kind of do it. And then I'm just bringing just colored tape and string and whatever. And basically, just like when you're doing the class diagrams, it's essentially an ancient class diagram. Like seriously, truly, and literally an ancient class diagram where you would put, as you can see at the top, a class name, the responsibilities over here, right? Like, what does that class do? And even before you get to UML, this can be an interesting exercise. And there's something about the spatial. I almost cut my eyeball just there. Did you see that? There's something about the tangible, have a desk space or have post-it notes that you can stick on a whiteboard and draw. There's something about that spatial thing that causes the brain to think a little bit differently than if everything's on your screen. You know what I mean? And so what I would do is get groups together. I would have, 5 times that material, including, like I said, string, yarn, tape. You can get crazy with it, glue, glitter. It doesn't matter. And then just let everybody get creative to design some system, right? And a lot of times, again, when A, we've been together, and B, I've been on the ball better, we'd maybe do some kind of a system that we're thinking about or designing and evolving a little bit. So we're a little starved out for that this semester. But just to know this is something we would do. On the right-hand column would be collaborations, meaning who does this need to talk to, to go get that thing. That's it. That's it. But then what you would do is you would take these post-it notes or 3x5 cards, put them on the table, and then like tape them to the table, and then maybe like take like where the little order line or customer, and actually put some yarn and drag it over to another card, and then use that as a visual way, of moving things around and realizing that that's different, and physically change it, redo the cards. You're refactoring cards. You're also looking at this and you're saying the collaboration hints pretty strongly to you about coupling, and the responsibilities ought to belong together, which should suggest some nice high cohesion, that everything kind of belongs on this card. Or you might have to like tear it up, put it on 2 cards. These are 2 half cards, but you know what I mean. Make 2 cards and now separate those. But now, and every time you do that, there's like a readjustment or a resettling of things. That's it. That's all this thing is. But just be aware of it, put it in your little arsenal. It happened in the 80s, and this is literally the last slide, by the way. Okay, I told you this is not a big slide set. It came out of the 80s, and it was a way of kind of trying to, design. And it was also a way of trying to, find some representation of the system that you could dynamically evolve and change. Again, in the 80s, we barely had, Lotus 1, 2, 3. We barely had word processors, spreadsheets. We didn't have like customized, computer aided design kinds of crap, Yeah, the horror movie. It came from the 80s. It's actually the story of this chocolate bunny over here on the stream. Anyway, that's it. That's it. And if, again, in my cool world where we're all together, which we will be in the fall, I think we're going to be in the fall. I think we're in person in the fall. Hopefully, you know what I mean? Hopefully we got herd immunity and we got immunization. We got, enough the right kind of safety going on. I sure hope so. I sure hope so. I missed the face contact. That's it. That's it. That's it. So that's CRC cards. And again, I don't know. If I could find a cool way, a cool representation, maybe I would do something remote. I'm not sure. But for now, I'm just going to skip it. But I wanted you to know what it was. Then what I wanted to do as an interlude was I wanted to go back to the well on a little bit of design. Okay. Now, there's a problem. Let me see. Let me just see real quick. What's the difference here? Okay. I just, as an interlude, you know what I mean? To me, the design is always just really, really fun, and I want to just talk about it. we did just a little bit of recap. And then I'm going to shift over to sequence diagrams. Remember this one? We talked about this one, right? Use case babies. And we talked about this one. Remember, we beat the crap out of that one. And we talked about this one. I don't know if we went deep on this one, but I think I did. I think we did adequately, right? I talked about the use case, 85-year-old father-in-law. You know, just crazy, crazy usability things. What about this one? I don't think I showed you this one, did I? Do you remember? It feels like I didn't.
I don't think we've seen this one.
Yeah. Now,
Same.
ignoring the scratcho graffiti, I did take this picture myself. I don't know where I was, but it looks shockingly like either a McDonald's or a Wendy's, neither of which I'm particularly proud of.
For sure, Wendy's.
Is it Wendy's? For
I don't
sure.
know. That's what their menu looks like
Okay.
last time I've been there.
All right. No, I'll totally buy on that. I don't really go to McDonald's. The sausage egg McMuffin is good. I will go to McDonald's in the morning for that and the hash browns, but I just can't eat anything else there. Yeah, default order image, right? What are you doing? What's the flow that leads to this reality of default order image actually showing up for a customer? No? What are you doing? What are you doing, Wendy's?
I would say incomplete software.
Yeah, they're right. There was a use case, right? There was a particular condition not met, that would be, would you say objectively looking at pictures of the running system that this is ever a moment you actually want the customer to have under any condition? I gotta go.
No, no way.
I gotta go no on that. So anyway, any other thoughts on this one? Now check out this one. Again, this is my own picture. I took this picture. It's in Salt Lake. It is, in fact, the parking lot right across the street from the best pizza place in the state. Best pizza in Utah County, as I've established pretty definitively, is obviously Nico's on Cougar Boulevard. But the very, very best pizza in the state is this place right here, Sette Bello. Sette Bello. Somebody can drum up a web page or something. It's authentic Napolitano margarita pizzas. It's like the main thing they do. It's just an authentic Napolitano pizza. Napolitano is Italian for Neapolitan, which is American for it comes from Naples or it comes from Napoli. And the pizza in Napoli, man. Woo. Okay, so right across the street is Sette Bello. I really do recommend Sette Bello. It's just it's one of those things that's so authentic that it's possible you won't like it. But if you've ever lived in Napoli, like I know I have, then it's just oh, and I'm just transported back 40 years, right? And eating that pizza, discovering that weird pizza for the first time in my life. But just check out this. So this is this. What's that?
I was going to say, is it kind of like coffee where people who like it really, really like it and people who don't really don't?
Maybe. I don't know because I don't. Never did. You know what I mean? It always just tasted like, I don't know. Maybe I never had good coffee. I don't know. Or maybe I was too young, so my taste buds were too sensitive. But no, it never hooked me.
It tastes bad until it tastes good.
Yeah, to me that's a problem. So no, this is more so I appreciate the effort of the analogy. I think this is just more like a lot of authentic food, like you take Chinese food, or as the Chinese call it, food. Um, you know, the reality is great Chinese food in China, if you're ordering like more Cantonese kinds of stuff, which is more like what you're going to get in the US with Americanized Chinese food, is blow your doors off. But then you get into other cuisines, the Szechuan and some other stuff. You know what I mean? Where I did this once, I was in Taiwan, roll into a restaurant, and the logo on the restaurant is a fish head. And I don't mean that in any, I mean, culturally, as American, as an American, and I think most of us or all of us in the class right now are, no, we're probably not all like born and raised American, but I'm just saying that if you're born and raised American, fish heads is not something you think of when you think of going to a nice restaurant to pay money for somebody to prepare for you a meal. You don't think of fish heads. I don't think that's being in any way denigrating, right? I really don't. I don't think so. But there's a certain cuisine, obviously, when you have a fish head on the logo of your restaurant, then there's something going down there that's a little bit uncomfortable and unusual. If you were raised like I was in Iowa, in meat and potatoes country, corn country, you know what I mean? I hope that makes sense. So it's more like authentic, something that's authentic culturally, that if you didn't somehow get some exposure to that, then you finally get it. It's like, you know what I mean? Like I think a lot of Italian food in Italy, it's just different. All of it, lasagna, spaghetti, all of it is just different enough that you might be like, I don't know. I don't know about this, because it's just different. Does that make sense? That was a long way around a very small point to make. Um, Oh, you can really, Braden, you can see fish heads on restaurants in. Oh, wait. Tea absolutely does not. Let me see. Oh, coffee and tea taste like burnt plants soaked in water. Uh,
That kind of is what it is.
well, yeah, strangely enough, oddly enough, it tastes like plant leaves steeped in water. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, but I am just saying that, what am I saying? Go to Sette Bello. You owe it to yourself. Um, but again, not everybody's going to come out of there and just go, okay, that was the most amazing pizza of my life. But if you've lived in Napoli, like I know I have, it's like freaking amazing. The oven is imported from Napoli. You know what I mean? It's crazy authentic. Okay. Across the street from that, slight departure, is this sign. Now, what's wrong with this sign? Talk to me. Design time.
The most convenient method is also kind of marginalized. It's like really small.
Which would be which?
The scanner.
Probably the QR code, maybe. But what does the QR code do? It gets you the app. Then you got to do the app thing. Okay, keep going. What else? What else? And again, kind of no wrong answers here. This is more just, I want you to brainstorm. Like, what is squeaking doors? I think that this sign has a bunch of squeaking doors. Okay. What might it be? I've obviously hinted at the top, but what strikes you as you see it, that either that you like or that you don't like?
It has three numbers that, like the 1, 2, and 3. There's obviously supposed to be steps, but they don't really provide much. The font and color, like the size and everything, is like all over the place, and it
Yeah.
does not guide you in any way.
No, I think that's exactly right. Who said that? I wasn't looking at the chat thing.
That's me, Braden.
Yeah, no, I think it's exactly right. What I like that you just said, Braden, was that it doesn't guide you. No, and then you're like, whoa. Fonts and font sizes and colors should guide you? Yes, they should.
And then there's a bunch of clutter, which is like all of the the boxes of text that are like dark and all the images, which are too small to really convey any information anyway. They really just distract.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly
I'm
right.
sure when you get close, they might be better, but like
I'm going
from a
in
a
here
good distance,
at
it's
the
hard to see.
bottom in the black box. I'm off screen here, I know, because I got to get close enough to read it on the picture on my big screen. It goes, sign up once, then use call to park at all Diamond locations, exclamation. A 30-cent convenience fee will be added to each transaction. And I'm sorry, but in no way you're going to be just like stop and read that and have it penetrate, because you're already what is it you want to do right now? You're also, by the way, right next to Red Iguana and Buca di Beppo, which, by the way, very good Italian restaurant, very kind of southern Italy cuisine. Buca di Beppo, which is just on the corner down from Sette Bello and across from, I think it's Red Iguana on that other corner right there. But Buca di Beppo, very good Italian.
Well, presumably, if you're there, you just want to eat, and being confronted with this sign, you may be tempted to roll the dice and just not pay. Just get this out of here. And if you're reading the third steps, like number 3, they can just throw out. Follow the prompts. Oh, thanks. I could have never figured that out on my own. Like,
yeah. No, right. And so that's right. First of all, the biggest text of everything is how to pay, right? Now maybe, I mean, again, it's too many words. For example, if I say pay by phone, exclamation, okay, are you emphatically commanding me, or are you just really excited? You're so excited your text turned red, and you're like, pay by phone. Like, what is that? What is it saying? Also, as soon as you, by the way, it's 2021 now. Now, I probably took this picture in like 2028 or 2028. I traveled to the future to take this picture. No, it had to be like 2018 or 19 in that somewhere when I took this picture. Okay. If step number 1 is a phone number or calltopark.com, do you need to say phone? I'm going to say no. Or do you need to say go to? Or go to, do I need to say that? No.
If you just put the phone number in the website, I think most people would make
Exactly.
the connection.
Right? If you just said, because you go how to pay by phone, you literally have pay it. If you're reading it linearly, you have pay and pay stacked up. You're oversaying the word pay, okay, right out of the chute. How to pay by phone. How about just pay by phone as a label? You don't need to say how to pay if you just say pay by phone. And don't be
They could have
emphatic.
just put a phone symbol next to the phone number.
Could have had a
most
phone
people
symbol and a
know what
browser
that says.
symbol, right? And you could have, or you could just at the top just say, I'm okay with pay by phone, at some level, but I don't even know that you have to say anything hardly. But I know you don't have to really say phone, you know. But if you go phone number or website, phone number or website, and if it's clear that this relates to paying for your parking, right? Or you could just say pay to park. So it reminds me that you have to pay to park here, right? Pay to park, phone number, website, a little or even, small or, very small or. You also don't need all caps. Oh, also, how to pay, it's all caps. Everything's all caps. Pay, how to pay by phone or go to. You're like, you can also scan. You're yelling at me until you finally calm down on step 3 and go, follow the prompts. Oh, wait, follow the prompts? I wasn't going to do that. I'm so glad you said it. Also, why at the very end do you tell me that I need I'm like, pay by phone. I call the number, I go to call to park, or I scan, you can also scan. Well, there's actually 3 options: phone, website, app. Give me 3 options. Maybe even set them up here: phone and a number, web and the URL, app symbols, and a QR code, right? I can choose which of those 3 I'm going to do. But I get all the way down to the bottom, and then I'll, enter location number. No, just go location number. There's the location number. I already get for free that I'm going to probably have to enter that somewhere. And if the app is done well, if the app is done well, it's going to ask me for the location number. And then way at the bottom, after you say something dumb like follow the prompts, which nobody would have thought of, then you're going to say you will need, wait, before I start. Step number 3 is you telling me what I'm going to need before I start. First time I did this, because I am a regular at Sette Bello, pre-quarantine, I'm a regular. First time I did this, I started at the top. I annoyingly got my way past the number and the URL. I scanned the QR code. I grabbed the app. I launched it, did my little whatever. I entered the location number, and then it wanted my license plate number, which nobody knows their license plate number really, right? Some of you do. You just have room in your head for that kind of thing. I don't. A, I have too many things in my head. B, I don't have as much room. I don't have enough bandwidth in my head probably as you do. At the very end, you tell me, oh, you're going to need a license plate number. So what do I do at that moment that I'm in the middle of doing the app? I trundle back into the parking lot to go find my license plate number.
Can we sort of, you've already kind of done this, but can we sort of like officially redesign the sign as a class? Can I
I think it would be
give it a shot?
fantastic. I think it would be fantastic. In fact, if we go, let me just, I think it would be an amazing exercise, and whether we do it all like right now or not, I'm grabbing this. I know I have the original somewhere, but I'm just going to drop
Yeah.
this into the chat for everybody.
Yeah.
But no, I think it's a brilliant idea, and
Because the sign is pretty easy to do. Some of these other things have been a little tricky, but
yeah, well, and it is right. It's more interface design, right? But it's okay. I'm not offended by some interface design. Where are we here? Where are we? I'm just dragging this. There we go. Just so everybody's got it. As in a form that's like right there and not just dependent. So Braden dropped this one. Sign up at passportparking.com. Zone 0. Yeah, no, I think it's
more
way
of a
better.
template, so it wouldn't look exactly like that.
It's what,
But
Braden?
that's pretty much. That's more. I think that's a template, so it doesn't have useful information. It's just
Oh, that's
places
not a
where things are
sign. That's more of a template.
In other words, I think the 000, like I think that would actually be a number instead of 4 zeros.
Yeah. No, but it's way better. I mean, it doesn't fully guide you, but I mean, how do we want to do this? We could also make it just a little assignment that everybody kind of cranks on it. Once again, I wouldn't even mind if you did it together as a class.
Well, if you're going to go to the website, you can have the information on how to navigate the website there. You don't have to put it on your sign. I think how you're going to do the. Sorry, you meant the assignment.
No, wait. Say it again.
You said, how are we going to do this? I thought you meant, how are we going to do.
Oh, no, I meant logistically. Do I make a little assignment and you can, whatever. It really wouldn't matter to me if you collaborated and did work together or small groups or whatever. Because the real critical thing, let's figure something out. I like the idea a lot. And we need to do a couple little extra little happy assignments. But the key guy, so who came up with that? Sam? Let's I'll make a little assignment on Canvas that we can just kind of do if that works. Does the sign above have anything related to this pay for parking? Are you talking, Rick, are you talking about the one Brayton posted or the one that I just posted?
No, on the one on the slide, there's a sign that's cut off above it.
Oh, yeah, right. No, that's a really good question. Great question. And what I need to do is go back and find the original picture, that I took, and see if I just took this or if I took a bigger thing and then just kind of cropped it, which I don't actually remember, but I can go find out. But here's the key principle, and then I want to move on, okay? And then let's come back and I'll post something. Hang on a second. I'll post something and put something on Canvas. As far as you know, I was just trying to look and see if I could just find it quickly, or if I was sort of hosed already.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that this sort of thing could, like, I mean, most people aren't going to want more homework, and to be fair, the general idea isn't something I love, but I really like the idea because we've done a ton of looking at crappy designs this
Yeah.
semester. And that, like we've talked about in class, it's a super important step to starting to design something good. But in order to learn how to design something good and really understand that, you kind of have to do a little practice. And
Yeah, that's
I
right.
think stuff like this, like designing parking signs, or what would you do about this sort of thing, or I don't know. It adds more points, and it's kind of fun too.
Yeah. I'm actually just looking real quick. Yeah, and the thing about it that is if we do something like this, where we're at right now, this is about just kind of having some fun and being collaborative about it. And I'm not gonna go like, wham minus 80% because you suck, or no, I don't like your design or whatever. It really is more my intention would be like you said, let's do some positive things. We gotta and knowing that something sucks is part of, you know, getting better at it. That's for sure. But on the other hand, there is that part where you've got to try to do the real thing. It's like reading versus writing, right? Writing is more creative. I am looking actually right now just to see, what is that thing? I just wanted to see if I had a more full picture of it. Now, what I could do is go to Sette Bello and then take a new picture. That would be good. Yeah, I don't see the big thing. Okay. Yep. Okay, but I'll figure something out. I do like the notion of doing something and trying to make it better. And then key principle here with everything you do, and I don't care if it's words, but words are notorious. Ask yourself, is there anything, it's like the writing principle. If you take 305G from me and we do a lot of writing, and one of my principles of editing, of being a good writer, is delete your way to glory, right? You delete your way to glory when you find yourself saying words that you don't need to say because you get them for free. And I don't just mean redundancies. I mean just saying crap that doesn't add anything, that doesn't need to be said because you get it for free. There's all kinds of stuff here that you get for free. You can get that for free. or go to, free. How to pay by phone, some of that is free. Follow the prompts, free. You don't have to say it. Anyway, I like the idea. And we've got a couple other exercises coming up. But look, when it comes to the in-class, these kinds of exercises, it's all going to be very liberally treated, okay, by me when it's grade time. Just know this. And I'll prove that to you soon enough in the mythical future when I get all this crap caught up. Okay, I'm going to move on. I want to hit a couple other ones. What about this one? What's it say?
At forever.
I think it says fat forever. And I took this picture myself. This is real. Where was I? A city.
Character looks a little bit chubby too.
What's that?
I was just saying the running man looks a little bit chubby.
The
too.
little running exercising person looks a little chubby. The two legs go down in the same position that the two legs of an A go down. You do have the head, which is I-ish, except that everything is caps. So you don't expect to, you're not looking for the dot over the I because everything's caps. Fat forever, which is actually true in the case of most actual fitness joints. Reality, fat forever. This is like swing and a miss. I mean, it's so close, and yet, no. This one's more just funny. You got an entire thing stacked up with this item is reduced due to misspelling of the word bird. That to me, that's just funny. And I actually want.
I would want one because it's hilarious.
I want a grid bucket.
I would take a Brid bucket, man. There's no question that I would be. I'd walk out with a stack of Brid buckets. I'd put them all out on April 1st. You know what I mean? That would be funny. But also, like, what are they doing? Are they warning everybody who can't spell? Like, hey, just FYI, Brid.
They're like, no, Brid is not an exotic species.
I mean, it was obviously overlooked by somebody, so customers could easily do the same.
True, right. Well, somebody at a whole, there's a number of levels at which it was overlooked by somebody, right? There are many, many layers of the overlook. Okay, what about this one? Remember again, and I took this shot myself. I was at a conference. I don't remember where. I truly don't remember what city in the world this is in, but it was a conference, and you got this big Mondo Bose speaker. I mean, that speaker just looks like subwoof. You know what I mean? Like major woof. The Bose garbage can. This is not a garbage can. It is a speaker, all uppercase. Do not throw trash inside.
I wonder whose bad design that is.
Well, right, but also right. It may be a time and a place thing too, because if you're Bose, I mean, Bose makes great speakers, right? They have been famous for great speakers for a long, long time. You know, at least for me, at least going back 45 years, that I had a conscious awareness of Bose as a brand, you know, for speakers. And maybe it's more just the fact that time and place. You put this thing in a hallway in the middle of a conference, and now it just begs to be looking like Bose garbage can, right? Doesn't it just feel like it's a Bose garbage can? But also one of my questions is, why not put that sign over the hole? You're still tempting people to make a shot, you know, like attention. This is not
Well, that's
what?
probably where the sound comes out of.
Well, sure. But then it's going to wave. It's going to be like, the sound's going to be like poofing the little paper. I don't know, right? I don't know how you, and I don't know what's like behind there. If it's like, again, I took this picture, but I don't remember.
The sign seems inadequate. It would have been a lot easier if they just put it in, like an infographic, like an X or the slash through a person throwing something away.
Sure, right,
I would
right.
I would
Or,
respond way more.
or what about a piece of colored tape crossways, two pieces across each of the holes with a little thing that says like something like no es basura. You know what I mean? A little something, uh, you know what I mean? Just Spanish for not trash. Um, a little universe, you know what I mean? A little universal don't, or I don't know. I don't know. It just feels.
I feel like this isn't actually a Bose speaker, and it's actually just really good advertisement by their competition.
To associate Bose speakers with garbage. This is like from Pioneer or who makes speakers? I don't even know, right? Who makes speakers? Panasonic, probably. Okay, anyway, but isn't that great? Okay, now I want to just say something about this one. Great design. Okay, and I want to just actually, I'm gonna something I could never do. This, my friends, is a shiatsu back massager. Okay, that is what this picture is. And you can see my messy desk behind it. Okay, and I've got a couple things, but I'm going to show you. Yeah, I'm going to give you the live, okay, on this thing. So first of all, number one, it's got the roundy thing. It's obviously got the little massagey balls, right? Can you see them? The little, you can see the picture as well, right? This was given to me probably for Christmas. The color's fine. The there's no moving parts for me. I plug it in, it's on the bottom, and then there's one button. The whole thing, one button. Okay. Now, and part of the reason I want to show you this is I rip the ever-loving snot out of crap design, right? I do. I don't hold back. And I think it's really the first step on the path to enlightenment is to know that something sucks. You can never make it great if you didn't know that it sucked and if you then couldn't figure out why it sucked, right? So, given that, when I come across a product that I think is just tremendous, like this hand, for example, which has no functional purpose, but I like it. But when I come across a product that I think is amazing, then I got to praise it. I got to praise it as emphatically as I diss on the other crap, right? So I got one button. There's no pilot error really. Now here we go. Let me do it. Ready? Push the button once. See the green? Now I push the button a second time. It keeps going. It's a little harder to see. Actually, let me try something. Let me kill that light. Do you see it? In fact, if I kill this light, okay, now you can really see it. Right on. And you see it moving. Push it again, off. One time through. Now, what do I know? What do I now know about the utility, the functionality of this device? I didn't know anything. I picked this thing up, right? And I'm just like, huh? Huh? I push it once. I'm like, huh? Push it again. Eh? Oh, push it again. It's off. I gave the this device an opportunity to tell me about itself and to teach me so that I don't have to run around with an instruction list in my head about how to use the shiatsu back massager. Also, it's called a shiatsu back massager, but it doesn't say that on here. So even if I didn't know what it was, I'd be tempted, right? I'd be really tempted, like I'm going to go right now. And then, so what's it going to do? What did you just learn? And I'm just rocking it right now while we talk. I'm just getting my little back massage, which actually feels really, really good. What'd you learn? What'd you learn? What did this thing just tell you?
I mean, what it's for, and just what the design makes you want to do. But one thing I really like about the just single big button is obviously that's great because you want to be able to find it without looking for it. But not only that is sort of the idea of cohesion in not software, right? There's not a million buttons to do a million different things to do, right? You don't have to think about it or make complex decisions. You just put it on your back and you press the button and life's great.
Yep.
And I think that can be super valuable.
Yeah. What else? What else? Number one, I've got one button. There's almost no functionality. There's a little plug. I pushed it once and it showed me green. Okay. I pushed it once, it showed me green. And it was moving. I pushed it again, it showed me red. I pushed it again and it was obviously off. Talk to me. What happened? Green, red. What's the difference?
Stop and go.
Nope. Because they're both going. They're both going.
Oh, they're both going?
I push it, it's going green, and then I push it again and it's going red.
Is it fast and slow?
Nope. Because you can again.
Is it heat and no heat?
Yeah, it's heat and no heat. And the reason that you kind of know if you're looking at it, right? You're playing more of a guessing game because I've got it right now on my back. Feels really good, by the way. But you can see that when I click it, that the speed stays the same. That the only difference upon observation is that it's red. The balls are red instead of green. Yeah. When it's red, it warms up. The balls actually get warm while it does the little massage. That is beautiful design. And on top of all that, the motion and the heat, delish. Seriously delish. Like really one of the greatest products I've ever acquired, either as a gift or going out shopping. This thing is tremendous. I may need to replace it though, because there is a part where once I've got a little pressure on it, it kind of makes a little popping sound in certain positions, which might mean it's being worn out. You know, I've had this thing for like 5 years, and I've gotten plenty of use out of it. So you know what I mean? It might be like wearing out because it's like pop, pop, and that seems like there's a gear wearing out or something. Anyway, that's I just want to say that is an amazing product. This shiatsu back massager. It has been one of the greatest products ever, and the usability is so clean, so clean. Okay, now what's remarkable? What's our time? Are we done?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the best way to go. Look up and we're out of time. Beautiful. That's beautiful. But hey, you know, it's all good. So yeah, what we're gonna do, okay, this weekend, are you ready for me to make a bold promise? Are you ready? I'm gonna get all the grading caught up by the end of the weekend.
That is a bold promise.
It's given everything, it's crazy bold, but I promise you. And again, all the other stuff that was done, I'm not talking about the Goff stuff, but all the other Simon-y stuff, it's all pretty much, I want to read it, want to see what you did, and it's going to be, you did it, you got the points. I'm not going to be like, you know, crazy subjective dingy, too, you know what I mean, too little feedback, too whatever. That onus falls on me, not on you. You know what I mean? So it'll be really accommodating that way. Exam, you know, a little different. You knew what the questions were. I'm going to grade that one straight. You know, so you kind of know what to expect, I think. But hoping that everybody just smokes that. Really hope that everybody smoked it. Nothing would make me happier. There are things that would make me happier, but within the context of this class, little else would make me as happy as everybody smoking that midterm. So, all right, mis amigos, I'm gonna bail now, and stay out of trouble tomorrow. Don't lie to your friends in the spirit of comedy. That's my opinion. Do what you want. Do whatever you want. I'm out. I'm done. Next time, sequence diagrams. We'll dive straight into sequence diagrams.
It's good.
See
Thank
ya.
you.
All right. See you, everybody.
Thanks.